When the Going Gets Tough, Podcast 17. In August of 1999, my family and I were living in London, England, where I founded the seed synagogue called Netzach Yisroel, which is now led by my good friend Rabbi Ruvain Stepsky. In August of that year, there was a total eclipse of the sun, which could be seen that year in London. One of the major national reporters put through a very, very moving report of how she was so moved, inspired, and affected by the total eclipse of the sun. She said, usually in her humdrum everyday life of reporting the news, she feels external to the news. She feels unaffected by the news. It's something which happens but doesn't affect her personally. But here, with this eclipse of the sun, the whole world plunged, or all of England plunged into darkness for 2 minutes at 12:30 p.m. in the middle of the day, affected her personally. And for the first time in her life, she realized that the world does affect her, that what happens in the world and what happens in God's world does affect her personally. And I was so amazed that here was a grown woman who for the first time in her life realized that she was part of this world and that the world affected her personally. Of course, people do believe in God, but they don't usually believe that God has any personal relationship with them. And this was a very major moment of realization for her, that she realized that there's a God, there's a creator, and he's also a supervisor. He's her personal God who affects her, who's involved in her life, who can make changes in the world and that affect her personally. What an amazing realization. Now this is true because the Torah tells us in chapter 19, verse 18 in Shmos, in Genesis, it tells us the following. V'har Sinai ashan kulo, mipnei asher yarad alav Hashem, ba'esh vayal ashano ke'eshen hakivshan, v'yacharad kol ha'ar me'od. And in English, it means as follows. All of Mount Sinai was smoking, ashan kulo, because Hashem had descended upon it in the fire. Its smoke ascended like the smoke of the furnace, and the entire mountain shuddered exceedingly. The word ashan, ayin shin nun, explained by the Vilna Gaon, tells us the following. Ayin shin nun, ashan stands for olam, shana, nefesh. Ayin stands for olam, the physical world. Shin, shana, stands for time. And nun stands for nefesh. When God descended upon Mount Sinai, it was a unique moment in history where the place, Mount Sinai, and the time, the 6th day of Sivan, and the nefashos, the souls of God and Moses and the Jewish people, were converging at that moment of a convergence of the place, Olam, the physical world, Mount Sinai, Shana, the time, the 6th of Sivan, and Nefesh, the souls of the Jewish people, and God, Kiviyachol, the Father of all souls, the soul of all souls, and Neshama de Neshamos, the creator of all souls, converged at that moment. There was a prophetic revelation, a connection. It never happened before in world history, and will never happen again. It was a unique convergence moment. The Vilna Gaon tells us that these moments happen every moment of our lives. The physical space that we're in, for me, it's the studio. For you, it's the computer you're listening to right now. Shana, time. For me, this is the 6th day of Passover in 5780 in April 2020. For you, it may be 2020, 2021, 2022, listening to this video. This time is for me and you at this moment different. But this moment in time right now that you're listening to it is a moment in time where in that space, in this time, with these two souls, me and you connecting together, this moment has never happened before in world history. The convergence of this place, this studio, your computer, this time, look at your watch, and these two souls, you and I, never converged together in this place at this time ever before in world history, nor will we ever converge together at this time again. We may meet again tomorrow, or next week, or next month, but not right now. This moment is a unique moment in history. If we appreciate this moment, if we're alive to this moment, if we are conscious in this moment, if we're woke in this moment, we'll take advantage of this moment and make it count. We'll make this relationship in this place at this time meaningful, count, be on the same page, connect with each other, learn from each other, share with each other, become connected with each other. And that way we can make this moment live forever. But if we're looking at our cell phone, or looking away, or looking at some television program, we're not going to be able to be conscious to this place at this time with these two souls in this moment. And therefore, the roving reporter in London might have realized from that moment of the eclipse of the sun that every moment is a moment where God is involved in our lives. The place, the time, and the souls that he presents us with are a unique moment in history. But what do? We become desensitized. We become bored of the humdrum of life. And we don't pay attention to these special moments. Now, how can we? When do we sit up and pay attention? How do we know when to be awake or be woke to the special moments of our lives? Well, in the movie industry, in the movies, they have special music, background music, which alerts us to special stuff coming. And therefore, that's the alert, that's the wake-up call. For example, in the movie Jaws, whenever you heard this music, doo-doo, 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 you know, uh-oh, sit on the edge of your seat because Jaws is coming. But that was the movie director giving us a hint. Say, I know you've been distracted for the past 20 minutes eating your popcorn, but pay attention now. Listen to the music. Jaws is coming. Something important is coming. That's the music. Well, do we get music? The answer is the music is the awareness and consciousness of the convergence of this moment in this place with these two people. Every conversation could be a moment of this place, these two people at this time, and it'll never come back again. Every conversation you have with your child, your spouse, your friend, your neighbor, your colleague at work is a unique moment in history which will never come back again. If we take full advantage of that moment and we're conscious and we're awake and we live that moment and we appreciate it and we share with each other in that moment lives. It lives in our soul. It lives with us forever. If we don't, we could miss it. What happens if we miss the point of a conversation? What happens if we miss the point of our lives? And therefore, we have to be aware of this ashan, the olam, shan nefesh of our moments. Now, what do? We become so desensitized and so bored with our lives that we need not only Jaws to wake us up, but we need bungee jumping to wake us up. What do we do to find excitement in life? We climb up to the top of a bridge. We pay $129.50 to the bungee operator. He ties a rubber band around our legs, secures us with a harness, and asks us to jump off a bridge toward the water. Like down there? Are you kidding me? Well, if you want to be bungee jumper, you got to do this. So I do it. I tie this rubber band around my leg. I pay my $129.50 and I jump off this bridge and I go heading for the water, heading for sure death. And then at the last moment, I'm pulled back by the rubber string and I go wing, wing, wing. And I almost die. But the moment I almost die and almost hit the water and come back, I'm alive. I feel exhilarated. I feel like I almost died, but I didn't. And therefore I feel like that moment is a moment of exhilarated life, that I have been pulled back from the brink. That's the moment I feel exhilarated and alive. Now, do I have to wait for bungee jumping to feel alive? Why can't I feel alive every moment? That's the task of the Torah, to teach us that every moment is an ashan moment, a moment of descending, God descending on our personal Mount Sinai. Our Ashan, our world, our Mount Sinai is this moment, this place, this studio, this computer. The time is, look at your watch, this time. The souls are you and I, right now together, learning together, studying together, inspiring each other together. If we take full advantage of this moment in time, we will be taking this moment and making it alive. And therefore, life will not pass us by. Life will be full of moments of Ashan, of mysterious, connected, magical moments. We take advantage of every moment and make it count. And that's our job in life. And that's why at the end of the Torah, God tells us in chapter 30 of Deuteronomy, of Devarim, he says, "See, I have placed before you today the life and the good. I have placed it before you today." In Hebrew, Re'eh nasati lefanecha hayom et hachayim bet hatov. I have placed before you today, right now, in this moment. Carpe diem, seize the moment. Live in the moment. Don't wait for Jaws music. Don't need bungee jumping to wake you up. Be aware of this place, at this time, with the two souls you're with right now. Those are the moments of life. Those are the moments to live, to be exhilarated, to appreciate, to have gratitude for, and to live that moment. And if we take advantage of those moments, we're aware, we're woke to those moments, we're conscious, we're awake, then we can make that moment count. We can make a difference. And you can, when the going gets tough, make a difference in this world by staying woke, be aware, live the moment, and make a difference in this world.